Back in the 1950s, there was a TV game show where contestants answered increasingly difficult questions, with the grand prize coming for answering the $64,000 question. Today, the $64,000 question is, can machines think? Or maybe the better question is, do machines think the way humans do? I'm fond of saying that people are smart and slow, and computers are dumb and fast. Computers mimic human thinking because they work at the speed of light on one task at a time. They are dumb because humans have to tell them what to do. People learn through experience. Our brains are rewired every time we learn something new. You hear a song, you tie it to a memory, or maybe even a feeling. That is dynamic, real world learning. And because everything scientific needs a complicated name, we call this neuroplasticity. Computers need millions of examples to learn one thing. You can understand a new word in a sentence after hearing it once. An AI model needs to see that word thousands of times just to use it correctly. And once it's learned, the knowledge is frozen. Human languages evolve. Computers don't change unless we tell them they have to. Advantage humans. Now, let's talk about how we process information. Large language models work sequentially. They look at your prompt, break it into tokens, which are data points roughly equivalent to three-quarters of a word, and the LLM tries to predict what comes next based on its training data. So when you type, the cow jumped over the dash, it'll probably say moon, not because it understands that it comes from a nursery rhyme, but because moon statistically fits best. You know, I wonder if Elon has programmed Grok to have the cow fly over Mars. Advantage humans again. Another key difference is that humans think in concepts. Our brains work in parallel with different regions processing inputs from our senses, memories, and emotions at the same time. This is stuff that a machine just doesn't have. Now, let's get into memory. When I was in college, a few of my roommates and I drove to Fort Lauderdale on spring break. For the entire drive, from one AM station to the next, we heard Nancy Sinatra's These Boots Are Made for Walking until I wanted to cry. Today, when I hear that song, I'm suddenly on that road trip to Florida, begging for another tune. That's a memory with meaning. An LLM, it forgets everything once the input window closes. Again, advantage humans. When it comes to reasoning, which after all is a big part of thinking, the differences are equally dramatic. Humans have both intuitive and logical reasoning capability. Daniel Kahneman, in his hugely influential book, Thinking Fast and Slow, called them System 1 and System 2, 1 being intuitive and fast, and 2 being logical or slow. AI mostly does System 2. It mimics logic. It processes vast amounts of data so quickly, we might even confuse it with intuition, but it doesn't understand anything. When it gets the answer right, it's a good guess. When we get it wrong, well, we call that hallucination. Now, let's talk about embodiment, maybe the most significant difference. Humans live in the world. We sweat, dance, crash bikes, hug people. We know what it means to be alive. LLMs live in server farms. They wouldn't know what it feels like to jump into a pool on a hot summer day. Well, maybe they'd understand what wet means if you spilled coffee on the keyboard. Who knows? That's why, for all their smarts, machines still need us. AI doesn't think like humans, but the kind of thinking it does is still very powerful. We find ourselves in a world with two distinctly different kinds of thinking. Get used to it. And that's today's bite sized tech tip.